Hey everybody, welcome to the Dano channel. I am Dano and I'm here to I was going to say I'm back, but I'm here to talk to you guys about Solo, a Star Wars story in full detail. Spoilers and all. Let's do it. I was going to do this weeks ago, but I really had to think real hard about how I felt about the movie. And so I want to talk about the things I liked. I want to talk about the things I didn't like. And I want to know your thoughts at the end. Once I've done presented my thoughts, I want you to write me a huge paragraph. Write it all. Let me know all of your thoughts on Solo. Like I said, feel free to just let it all out in the comments. Let it out. Let's start with the way the movie started. Solo, there's no crawl because it's not a saga film. It is a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story. Similar to Rogue One, didn't have a crawl. Just starts. It was different though because there was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and there was like weird text that did pop up. So that was different. It's kind of neat to see them do something different with the movie. I was cool with that. I was like, okay, all right, we're trying new things. Way to go, Ron Howard, get it. And then we see the flashes because Han's in, like hot wiring the speeder. Got interrupted by a force link. Of course I did. But he's doing little flashes. He's stealing that speeder bike. His little M68 land speeder, stealing it, and then immediately gets into a race with Moloch. This whole beginning scene with the race was a fun, fast way to start things off. It was cool. We got to see a lot of stuff. Corellian hounds. I'm going to reference this book because it'll kind of help me remember what happened in the movie. This is the visual guide, by the way. I will put links to this on Amazon. And in fact, this book and the Art of Star Wars, the actual ones, I'm going to put up on eBay in my eBay shop. I'm selling parts of my collection that I don't want to move because I'm moving soon. You can tell some stuff's missing. I'm selling stuff. I'm just going to do that going forward from my Star Wars collection. If I don't need the toy, if it's not something I want to add to my collection personally, I'm going to put it up on eBay and make a little bit back on it. That way I can pump that back into the channel for better equipment, to buy other toys, just to keep the reviews coming regularly. So, heads up, it'll be on eBay. If you don't want to buy it on eBay, you can pay full price on Amazon. There's links down below. Those help me too. But this book is the visual guide, and the movie starts out with him stealing the land speeder. There's the land speeder right there. Boom. And we see Moloch. We get to see the dice. I like that the dice were in the movie. I just wish that we didn't get the dice so much in The Last Jedi now, because now seeing it in Solo, for me, cheapened it. When I saw the dice on Last Jedi, I was like, oh man, Han's dice. I knew about those. I used to play the CCG card game back in the 90s as like Magic the Gathering, but with Star Wars. And I knew about Han's dice. I had a card for him, said Han's dice, and it explained they were hanging in the Millennium Falcon. We never really saw them in the movie, but they were a lore, part of the Star Wars lore. And to see them in The Last Jedi, to me, was like, oh man, that's such a cool like thing they did, is bring the dice. And I liked the callback in Solo the first time they showed the dice. That's all it needed. If it would have just been the one shot with the dice, it would have been like enough. But like the dice kept coming up, and I thought it was overkill. I thought it was a little like cheesy, which is kind of my overall vibe of the movie. It was too much, and I'm a pretty cheesy like guy. You've seen the lame jokes I make, but it was for me. It was even too much. So, next, we get to see Lady Proxima, the big crazy worm lady, after he kind of gets caught and all that stuff, him and qi'ra. And I liked that. I like seeing Moloch. I actually really like the action figure of Moloch. Lady Proxima, kind of a cool like thing. She kidnaps kids or whatever and then makes them work for them, doing odd jobs. I like the race with Moloch. Like I said, that was fun. It was, okay, so in the visual guide, you can see what Moloch looks like without his mask on. Also, if you buy the toy. We didn't really get to see that in the film so much, if I remember correctly. I only saw it twice. I felt like I didn't need to go back and watch it again. The Scrum Rats is what they were called, the kids that they kidnapped. qi'ra was one of them. I liked qi'ra. I thought qi'ra was kind of a good character for the most part. I thought she was cool. The weird little Corellian hounds was neat. I did like that. Okay, so when they were trying to escape, afterwards, once they like fled Lady Proxima, and they're trying to escape Corellia, they got their whatever in that little file thing that they're going to sell for $1 billion. I liked that. I liked that setup. I liked that the movie began with that flashback to him being much younger. Like 5 years younger, or 3, I forget, 3 years, 5 years? It's in the timeline on here, I forget by now. But I liked that they showed that little flashback. It kind of set things up neatly. It was cool. But I didn't like that right after he got separated from Qi'ra and he went to go join the Imperial Naval Academy, which is what we've known forever. Like, that's not new. We knew he dropped out of the Imperial Naval Academy. That's like, again, Star Wars lore. But the fact that that's where he got his name was because he was Solo, and like he's been going by Han Solo since forever because of that one derpy moment. Too cheesy. Like, that's, I think we deserve better. I sound like an entitled fan, and I really try not to be. I always try to be as positive as possible. But to me, that was too much. To me, I was like, you know what? Kind of lame. Kind of lame. And I'm a pretty, like I said, I'm admittedly a lame guy. I'm like a 35-year-old man who plays with Star Wars toys. I have no pretense about who I am. Like, I get it. But to me, that was too much. I thought it was a little lame that it happened that way. And then we flash forward to him on Mimban. Book is perfect for that, because now I'm at the part where he's on Mimban. And this is where we meet Beckett. We meet whatever her name was, Thandie Newton's character. See, I don't even remember him, because that's how memorable it was for me. What is her name? Val, right? And Rio. I loved Rio. I thought Rio was good. But we meet Beckett, Val, and Rio, who are in disguise on Mimban, trying to, steal the transport, right? But this is also where we meet Chewbacca. And it's always been Star Wars lore. I feel like I need to give Star Wars lore up. And that's a problem with a lot of the fandoms having, is that we're so stuck to those like lore stories that we've heard, legends that we've heard. And when anything kind of deviates from that, or it's not what we had in our heads based on that lore or those legends, if it doesn't live up to those expectations we made up ourselves, it's a bit disappointing. Which I feel like some moments in this movie were that for me. They were disappointing. They weren't as cool as I would have hoped them to be, but at the same time, I had no specific expectations. So, you following me? You get what I'm saying? I didn't know that he would meet Chewie like that. I knew that there was some kind of life debt involved. That's a phrase that's come around Star Wars quite a bit. There was a life debt where Han saved Chewie and he owed him his life afterwards. And I don't know if that was specifically it when he got him to free him on Mimban. It was very Han Solo to come up with the idea to like, hey, we're going to pretend to fight. You're going to knock this pillar over and we're going to escape. That was very Han Solo. I liked that. I think that was well done. But I just didn't love that that's where they met. I don't know how did you guys feel about that? I thought it was kind of whatever. Again, we see Han Solo sneak on and get involved with Beckett, Val, and Rio. Beckett, I like Beckett. I thought Beckett was cool. He wasn't Star Wars enough for me, and I would have liked it to be maybe someone not recognizable like Woody Harrelson. Like a no-name character could have been Beckett, and it would have been fine. Thandie Newton as Val I thought was good for what she did. But, like, we get introduced to Beckett, Val, and Rio, and they kill them off in, like, the next part of the movie. They get their AT hauler. They go on the train heist, right? Maybe I'm skipping something. No, the Great Robbery. This is where we're at. The Great Robbery. They're going to rob that coaxium, right? For their buddy. So, through all that, we also get introduced to Enfys Nest. I loved Enfys Nest. I thought Enfys Nest was cool. The setup was a little weak to begin with. But at this point, we've only met Rio and Val for like a few minutes. And they kill them off. Spoiler alert. They kill them off. And it's like, oh, I don't feel attached to them at all. So I think that was a little bit of a misstep. Seeing how powerful that coaxium was blowing up, that was cool. The range troopers. While it was neat to see the range troopers come out, did they come out? I mean, I did see that. I do remember them coming out, yes. And their little boots, like, grab on, and they're like gravity boots, whatever. It wasn't enough. I wish there was more. It wasn't very Stormtrooper enough for me, because to me, like, I don't know what I wanted with this movie, honestly. I don't know what I wanted with this movie, and it didn't live up to those weird, fake expectations I had in my head, and it kind of bums me out. But again, I didn't dislike the movie. I don't think it was a bad movie. I thought it was kind of fun at times. And overall, it was an okay movie. But I just didn't love it. And I think the fact that it's a Star Wars movie, and I'm like, Star Wars, dude, you know, I got Star Wars everything. And the fact that a new Star Wars movie came out, and I didn't love it. I didn't fall in love with it. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Rogue One came out, and I was so hyped on that movie. I was like, yes, this is the first Star Wars story. It's so good. I'm going to watch it 8 billion times. I love everything about it. And that's how I was with Force Awakens. Last Jedi hit, and I was like, when I came out the first time, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I loved it. It was weird. It was different, but I loved it. And then I watched it again the next day, and I was like, okay, it was weird. I still like it. And then I saw it again like at the third time, and I was like, okay, this movie is weird. And then I own it, you know, because I buy them all. And I think I don't even think I've actually watched it since it's come out. Because I was like, if I'm going to watch a Star Wars movie, I'm going to pick Rogue One or Empire. Or, you know, I'm going to pick something that I like want to watch. And Last Jedi hasn't been one of those lately. It's kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that. I liked Last Jedi. I liked it. But I feel like, same with Solo. I'll buy it when it comes out just to have it for completionist reasons. But I don't know that I'll actually watch it. It'll be one of those things. I'll throw $20 at the computer, be like, yeah, download it, do it. That's how it works. And I don't know how often I'll actually watch it. I'll put it on the background of my vids for sure, but it just didn't do it for me. And it doesn't mean it was a bad movie. It just means I'm disappointed that it was Star Wars and I didn't absolutely love it. And I like the prequels. I know how terrible Attack of the Clones is and how annoying little Anakin can be, but I love those movies still. Okay, does that make sense? Let's talk about Enfys Nest for a second. I really like Enfys Nest. I thought Enfys Nest was probably the second best thing to come out of this movie. Second best character to come out of this movie. Enfys Nest was, I like the intro, I like the twist at the end. We'll just jump to that idea that Enfys Nest and her group somehow are part of the start of the rebellion? What? I like that, and I also hate it. I like it because it's cool to know that it started somewhere with something like that, but I hate that it was because Han Solo got her all that coaxium, and Han Solo was somehow involved inadvertently in the start of the rebellion. To me, that was too much. Again, we're into that, like, you guys are pushing it. Like, that's too coincidental. And I didn't like that Han Solo had involvement in that. I know he got no love for the Empire, but it was just too much that he helped start the rebellion. It was too well placed, and I was like, eh. Alright, next up, place your bets. Oh, is this where we get to meet the yacht and the crazy guy with the scars on his face? I don't even remember his name. That's how much I love the movie. Because there's no action figure of him. The rollout for the merch was trash. I'm just telling you, this whole thing is just not well done. Dryden Voss, you can tell I go in and out with this. Dryden Voss was the guy played by The Vision, and he was whatever to me. It was cool. Like, I liked it. I liked the intro. I liked his introduction where he's like, let's drink a little, eat a little, drink a lot, and go upstairs, and like, that's my kind of guy. You want to eat a little bit and drink a lot and go talk? Yeah, that's my kind of person. I'm all for that life. He's got his yacht, and all the cool stuff was on the yacht. I liked the way the yacht looked. I liked all the little aliens and background stuff and the singers, and the fact that he was just like straight up murdering that dude and then just like dropped everything and went and joined the party. That, to me, that's a cool way to set up a villain. But overall, I don't think he was that great of a villain. He didn't seem that threatening. The party guests were very cool looking. And then we see Qi'ra return, and Kira's definitely involved with this dude, and I feel like we didn't get enough. We didn't get enough info about Qi'ra to know, like, what was she doing on there? What was her job? What were those things that she, like, the unmentionable things she didn't want Han to know that she had done over the years? I don't know if we want to know that, or if it's safe to put on Star Wars. Next up, we cut to, is it Han trying to, what was Han trying to do? He was trying to... I don't even know why Han was there. This is how much that movie stuck with me. This is honestly how forgettable that movie... It's been a few weeks now since I've seen the movie. Probably about 3 weeks since I last saw it. I saw it twice, 2 days in a row. The first day I watched it, and then the second day I went to go watch it again. Friday, I saw it Thursday, and then on the Friday I went to go watch it again with friends, and I made it 30 minutes into the movie before I fell asleep. So technically, I've only seen the movie like 1.25 times. And I woke up in like the last 15 minutes. The problem is the theater I go to has very comfortable recliners, and they also serve adult beverages like beer, wine, and they have like gourmet hot dogs. Like it's a very, very nice theater. And I always go there with my friends to see Star Wars movies. And of course, we're relaxed. We're having a good time. And I got a little too relaxed and I fell asleep. So apologies to anyone who's in that theater and had to hear me snore for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Either way, I forget why he went to the lodge. He went to go do something, and that's where he meets Lando. And on to the best part of the movie. Lando. Oh. I just thought of something. So in that place where the droids were fighting, there's like droid battles going on. Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard, who's in all of Ron Howard's movies, he always puts his brother in there, plays a character who's like one of the droid handlers, right? Right? So I want to show you this from this book. This is not a plug for the book, but if you want to buy it, it's on Amazon. Or in my eBay shop, if it's still available. This guy right here, this creep. That is Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother. He puts him in all the movies, right? His name is Rala Killy. I wonder if he's related to, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong here, Malakili is the name, I feel like it's Malakili, is the name of the Rancor Keeper on Jabba's palace. So I wonder if Ralakili is related to Malakili, if that's even his name. I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm gonna have to check now. I gotta look it up. I am correct. Get this. I pulled up the wiki entry on Malakili, interestingly enough, and he was a human male from the planet Corellia, who spent much of his childhood living in the slums of the moon Nar Shaddaa. So he's from Corellia. Now I don't think that lodge was on Corellia. It's just kind of a funny like coincidence that we saw a movie in Corellia. Malakili was there. This guy named Ralakili, Clint Howard's or Ron Howard's brother Clint. Just a weird side note. To me that's cool. That's why these books are cool. But the best part about this scene is when we meet Lando Calrissian, and Donald Glover nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. The first time we hear him speak, it's Lando. Unquestionably Lando. And that was really cool. Of course, they're playing sabacc, gambling, playing sabacc, which is something we've heard about before. We all knew that he lost the Falcon to Han in the sabacc game, so it's kind of neat that happened. At first, I thought that's what was going to happen that early in the movie, and I was like, what? Already? That's kind of weak, And then he didn't. And we also meet L337, who I have mixed emotions about. I don't, mind that she was, super, feminist, liberating, droid kind of thing. That was cool. I think to me, that was cool. I just didn't like her. She didn't stand out as a cool character to me. I liked the idea of her, but I didn't like how she was acted, how she sounded. And so I kind of didn't care about L337. I liked the fact that because she was such a snappy smart mouth, and she was part of the Falcon at the end, because they used her chip or whatever in the Falcon, and she's part of the Falcon. And that whole Easter egg with R2 and C-3PO when they're in there saying, hey, why has your ship got such a bad attitude or whatever. I'm quoting it wrong. But it's kind of cool that, it's such a temperamental ship because of L337. That was neat. That wasn't too much. That was well done. I liked that. I liked the Falcon overall. Seeing the crisp, clean Millennium Falcon and Lando in all his suits. That was beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. So, on to the big movie. They make their way to Kessel because they lost the coaxium to Enfys Nest, right? I'm just going through this, but I don't even know if we're going through the movie. This is just how I'm doing it. They have to go to Kessel. And they have to get back once they get that coaxium, which is the whole Kessel Run thing. Again, to me, it was very forgettable. I mean, I liked seeing Kessel. I liked seeing that it was like all weird and like sulfuric toxic pools or whatever. Like, it had a cool look to Kessel. A lot of the miners and the Pike Sentinels, whatever they are. I'm just reading it off the thing. It's actually this little guy over there in the corner. I thought it was cool. Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is actually from... This is basically a plug for the visual guide. It really is. So, in the mines, there's different mine workers, right? Yeah, we saw creepy Wookiee, Sagwa, and I thought that was a very ugly, weird-looking Wookiee. I don't know if you felt the same way. Maybe Chewie's just, like, really good-looking. I don't know. But, look at this. Who is that? This is called Senna. Now, that looks just like Moroff from Rogue One. Now, Moroff got an action figure. Moroff got a Micro Machines. And I feel like they were like, hey, we have this cool costume. Maybe let's reuse it in the background. So I really want to watch the movie again just to see if I can spot Senna. Interesting. That's why I like these visual guides. Because of little stuff like that. There's stuff to read about everybody. But I'm not keeping this one. I'll go through the Rogue One all the time. I read through that all the time. This one, I kind of just like... I'll read it once and then I'm good. There's a lot of droids. I appreciate there was a lot of droids working there. So the thing with the Kessel Run is they find a way to just zip through using the Quasar thing. There was a giant space octopus. Again, to me, it was so forgettable. It was so forgettable. That's not even mentioned in this book, the weird giant space octopus. It's not at all. So either way, they get back with the coaxium to the beach on Savareen where they meet up. And, of course, Enfys is there, like, waiting for them. Well, first they meet up with Dryden Voss and double-cross him. Double-cross Beckett. Like, it's, you know, that was kind of cool the way they all did that. But again, I just don't... Guys, it didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. I like Enfys, and then Enfys Nest at the end says, hey, we're going to take all this stuff and lead the rebellion. And then Lando was cool and lost the Falcon. That is I don't know if it shows, like the way I'm speaking about this, is very much just how I feel about the movie. That's it. That's how I feel about it. Just the way, everything we just said here. Guys, I want to know your thoughts. Did you like the movie? Did you not? Full paragraphs. Go crazy in the comments. I want to know I really do want to know your thoughts. If you like listening to me rant and not love Solo, give this video a thumbs up. Or give it a thumbs down, whatever. Either way, I said I was going to do this where we talked about all the little things, and I know I'm missing a lot, but the movie didn't do it for me. It didn't, and I don't think it was a bad movie. I just don't think it was a great movie. I think it was an okay movie. And it's definitely bummed me out about the whole toy line with the way it was released. Just the whole thing coming together, the full package. It's got me with a weird taste in my mouth about Solo. So, again, I want to know your thoughts. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep it real with you guys. If I don't like something, I will tell you, as you can see here. But if I do like something, I'm always excited and happy for it. So there's that too. I want to keep it genuine with you guys. And that's it. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not already, use the force on that little bell. That way you get notified every time I drop a brand new video. You'll be part of the Sad Baby Squad. And I want to feature you guys in the vids if possible. So use hashtag Sad Baby Squad. At me on Twitter and Instagram at Dano Flores. Instagram at Dano Flores. Dropped a porg. That means it's official, guys. This video is official. We made it. So it's time to say, may the force have with you. Goodbye forever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, subscribe, join the Sad Baby Squad. Hit me up with your own clips, videos, whatever you guys are into, fan artwork. I also have shirts and stuff available for sale. Hit those little links down below if you're at all interested. And that's it. Go watch another vid.